Ron Reader digs the universe. If Trump knew that Iran was years away from developing a nuclear weapon, why did he order the bombing? I mean, he's done this at political risk to himself. About half the Republican Party now has embraced that stupid isolationist shit. None of this adds up. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe. And tonight, Trump and the End Times. In last week's episode, I pondered the inscrutability of Trump's motivations for bombing Iran because his stated motivations don't add up. So is Putin calling the shots? Is it because his masculinity feels threatened? Or is he simply jealous of the fawning coverage Israel was getting on Fox News for their bombing campaign in Iran, as a guest on Chris Hayes' show last week speculated? The always dependable Amanda Marcotte, though, writing for Salon, made an observation that I wish I'd made myself. Trump may very well have ordered the bombing in Iran as a way to shore up support among his evangelical base, who see any and all action of or about Israel as being central to their cherished future history narrative known as the End Times. This is a big deal. Trump cannot exist without the evangelicals. They are his biggest constituency, and currently they are all in on Trump to the tune of 82% in the last election, a slight increase over 2020 and 2016, and Trump would like to keep it that way. I mean, why wouldn't he? You know, in addition to their political support, a narcissist like Trump has got to be just totally gooning all over himself every time they call him the chosen one, or compare him to Cyrus the Great or King Solomon. He really digs this shit. It only makes sense that as a now mythologized figure, evangelicals have placed Trump directly into their mythology. As soon as the White House announced that the bombing had occurred, numerous evangelical ministers and public figures offered their prayers, their blessings, and declared the act of war to be a step on the way toward the end times. Don't know about the end times? Then watch Kirk Cameron's Left Behind film series. Or, if you prefer, here's a brief summary. The End Times is a story about the events leading up to the return of Jesus and after the return of Jesus, based mostly on the revelation of John, but also borrowing heavily from the Old Testament. As a concept, it's mostly a 20th century scriptural interpretation, 20th and 21st. Indeed, secular Bible scholars assert that the revelation was originally understood to be about the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD, but that's not how the evangelicals understand it at all today. First, there's the rapture, when all the real Christians, you know, the evangelicals, when all of the real Christians are transported to heaven. This allows them to avoid the tribulation, a period of horrible plague, famine, war, and pestilence. Then Jesus returns, but he's no longer the Prince of Peace. Now he's God's wrath with a sword, killing millions, unless of course they became evangelical Christians during the tribulation. They're spared. But everyone else, though, whack. Jews, whack. Muslims, whack. Atheists, whack. Whack, whack, whack. God's love in action. Or God's justice, but it doesn't seem too just to me. So the end times mean death to us all unless we bend the knee, and the evangelicals think they can move this timeline along with American foreign policy, and they are massively influential within this administration. Trump's bombing of Iran, our support for and funding of Israel's genocide in Palestine, Iraq invasions, Afghanistan invasions. We are, America is, killing hundreds of thousands in order to appease a bloodthirsty, fascist, religious faction that has way too much political power. I used to leave all this end time stuff alone. You know, sure, I disagreed, but I thought it was mostly harmless. I can't, as a moral being, stay quiet about this anymore, though. The evangelicals want us all to go to hell and are perfectly willing to use government power to send us there ASAP. We gotta shut this shit down. I'm Ron Reeder, and this has been Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reeder, again next week for another episode of Ron Reeder Digs the Universe.